Black Friday 2024 is coming here and it's gonna be very soon. In this video I'm gonna show you how to make the most out of this Black Friday to make sure that you absolutely crush it, because it's not gonna be as easy as previous Black Fridays. So going back into the video, it's gonna be a complete Black Friday 2024 email marketing masterclass. I'm gonna show you how to make the most out of Q4 and to make sure that you dominate your industry and increase your market share while staying profitable. So first of all, why do you need it? As you've probably noticed, consumer trends are shifting, they're changing, and e-commerce isn't raving as much as it was in 2020, for example, because back then every brand was pretty much killing it, they were doing great and they weren't having any problem with profitability or staying in business in general. Right now I'm talking to a bunch of brands, both my clients and the ones that I'm auditing, and in general I have like a lot of brands that I talk to. And a lot of them are saying that it's way worse than it was before, and a lot of brands are actually struggling to stay profitable. So this is not some made up claim, this is actually what I've noticed from my research. As you can see, they're really struggling, and in the upcoming years it will be harder than ever. Now during the Black Friday, the competition is always gonna be bigger than ever as well, because there are new stores popping up. A lot of people have just some extra money to spend on ads. A lot of them were not spending any money or were having very low spend during summer, for example, but they're going to absolutely ramp it up during Black Friday and Q4. Now, what do you think happens when there are more brands competing for a customer if the customer itself wants to spend less money? Well, as you can imagine, they'll have to make a choice, and they will need to make choice. And the question will be, which brand do I buy from? And this masterclass is gonna show you that they are making the right choice, which is buying from you. I'm also gonna show you how to turn these people into repeat customers so that you will not only be successful during Q4, but also during Q1 2025 to make sure that you retain those customers and get those highly profitable repeat purchases. After going through this document and implementing everything and all the strategies that I'm gonna show, you'll be able to decrease your Q1 and Q4 customer acquisition costs, improve your cash flow, increase your overall profitability, and survive in these tough conditions and beat your competition. As you can see, if you implement all of that, that's how you're gonna look like. You're just gonna be counting money all the time. Now, before I get into the actual content, just a brief about me. My name is Konrad Wysocki. I'm the founder of Ventive Mail, which is e-commerce email and SMS marketing agency. So far, we have worked with over 40 DTC brands. I've been in the e-commerce space for over 4 years, and in general, I've generated over $20 million from email and SMS. If you ever have any questions regarding the videos or regarding email or anything else, you can find me either on Twitter, YouTube, or on LinkedIn. Now, here is a brief breakdown of everything we're going to cover. We're gonna start off with planning. I'm gonna briefly cover inventory, offer, and deliverability. Then for execution, I'm gonna show you how to execute your segments properly, pop-ups, flows, campaigns. Then we're gonna go into retention and repurchase. So how to make these people that bought from you during Black Friday get to buy again during Q1 or even in December Q4. And there's gonna be a small bonus for you at the end of the video, so make sure that you stay to the very end, because it's gonna be completely free and it's gonna help tremendously during Black Friday 2024. Let's start with planning. So as you already know, we're pretty close to Q4 and Black Friday Cyber Monday. Right now it's gonna be like 3 or 2 weeks, depending on whether this video goes live, but it's gonna be around 3 weeks from now. So if you did some planning already, then great job. A lot of my clients have done planning. We know when they're gonna run the offer, what the offer is gonna be, and it's gonna be really helpful because we won't be rushing anything, and it just makes everything so much easier because you can get better results in general. And I mean it because not many brands put in the time the way they should be doing. Some brands are pretty much waiting up until like actual Black Friday to figure out what deal they want to do, which isn't terrible, but it's always better to be safe than sorry and be ready in advance. So with that being said, if you haven't done anything yet, you're in a good place. Now, planning isn't only about when to start a new Black Friday or what offer you should run. There are many other factors that go beyond that, and here are some of the things that you should plan. First of all, inventory, then the offer, length, creatives and content, custom email flows and campaigns. I'm gonna briefly cover each and dive more in depth on custom flows and campaigns. I'm not gonna be covering creatives and content that much. My only advice on this is prepare way more creatives than you think you need. So for example, if you think you need 100 creatives, prepare 150 or 200. You'll always wanna have more. Worst case, you can try and reuse them post Black Friday, which isn't terrible. For inventory, this one is quite simple. Order more than enough. There are a bunch of projection sheets that you can run. I mean, if you have an established brand doing 6, 7, 8 figures a month, you already have probably something like that. You don't want to run out of stock, especially out of your bestsellers. So make sure that you calculate it correctly. And if you don't have a sheet like that, just enter how many SKUs are being sold every single month. Then see what is the trend. If you're selling more every month, less. You can also compare it to Black Friday 2023. If you have this data, then it will be so much easier. But in general, try to plan for Q4 and Q1 to make sure that you have inventory for both, because funnily enough, many brands don't only think about Black Friday, but then December is another huge month, and Q1 or January especially is a lot of huge month for other brands as well, especially in the health and wellness niche, because there are a lot of trends about New Year's resolution and changing people's lives, stuff like that. So make sure that you have all of this stock. If your stock doesn't have expiration date, it's even better because you can order more, and like worst case, you're gonna sell it in 2025. So make sure you do it. The worst thing that can happen to you is running out of stock during Black Friday. The offer itself is also not that simple. It may seem like it is, but it's not. A lot of brands run the wrong offer, and as a result, they lose a lot of money, and I mean a lot. That's mainly because they do not factor into critical metrics, AOV and profit margin. You can just run 50% off because that's what everyone's doing. You don't need to be like everyone. You need to calculate everything and know your profit margins and know your numbers. This is very, very important. And instead of guessing, and doing what you did last year because it was just okay, you need to run the numbers and create something that is not good but great. And to help you with that, I've got the unit economics calculator for you. You're gonna have access to this document within this video as well. It's gonna be linked, so you'll be able to see that. But in general, it's very, very useful. I'm very quickly gonna cover that because you're going to be able to target your desired numbers. So for example, you're going to be able to enter your target Black Friday revenue. Then for these informations, you're going to need to take them out of your Shopify reports. All of this information should be available. So your AOV, units per order, your cost of goods, the variable cost like payment fees, pick and pack, and shipping fees, anything like that, fixed cost, marketing spend, agency fees. You're gonna see your gross profit, net profit, and then any offer you run, you're gonna be able to see how much it costs you and what is the net profit after running this Black Friday offer. This is about it for the numbers. Again, I said that you need to run these. You're gonna have the access to this spreadsheet, so there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing this. You have no excuse to avoid it. As for the length, this one is fairly simple. You don't want to be running it for the whole 3 months, although I've seen a lot of brands still running Black Friday ads, and in some cases it's fine. Like if the ad is still performing well, funnily enough, it can do well because people think like, okay, this brand forgot to turn off the ad, I'm gonna buy. It's not a long-term strategy, it's never long lasting, but I mean, if it's doing very, very well, you're highly profitable, then I guess that's okay, unless your brand image tells you can't be doing that because it just doesn't look so well. Now, important thing is that people are actively looking for products to buy during this period. So blasting everyone won't be as effective as you might think. I mean, it will be effective for sure, but I would suggest running your Black Friday deals for around 2 weeks. That's what we found works best. And if it works well, you can always extend it by another week or two. Usually I don't recommend extending your sales, but I think Black Friday is this period where you actually have my permission to do so. And if you want to, you can extend it because most likely it's just gonna do very, very well. To be a little bit more specific, you should launch it earlier than everyone else. Customers have a certain amount of money they want to spend on specific products, improvements, whatever that may be, and they just want to buy stuff for themselves without spending more than they can afford to. That's why if your 10 biggest competitors launch 2 weeks before you, chances are like these people are on your competitors lists as well. So if they launch before you, they're gonna buy from them because, as you already know, like Black Friday is all about huge deals, urgency, stuff like that. So people won't be trying to, avoid FOMO. They'll be trying to, they will be trying to avoid FOMO, and they will just buy right away from these brands because they're like, okay, if I don't buy from them, what if this brand has worse deal, or what if that deal ends? You want to avoid that, so you want to be a little bit earlier than everyone else to the party. I wouldn't start in October since there is still Halloween, but the first or second week of November, I would more likely go for the second week of November, mid-November. Tease your offer to start to push it to people, make them aware like, okay, we're gonna have a huge Black Friday deal, and then launch it mid-November, week ahead of Black Friday. That should be fine. Now I'm gonna cover the most important thing about email marketing during Black Friday, which is deliverability. It is in general one of the most important aspects of email marketing, but it is especially important during Black Friday because the competition, once again, is gonna be worse than ever. Like there's gonna be more and more brands competing with you. So it's gonna be a make or break it for your entire email marketing strategy, maybe even the entire Black Friday if you depend highly on email, which you should be. And this is not some made up claim, let's just look at some data. So Black Friday in the US last year brought in $9.2 billion in sales. During Black Friday, the open rate increased by 44% and click rate increased by another 23% compared to the regular campaigns. It doesn't mean your deliverability is better, it means that more people are actively buying and opening these emails. They're opening more emails and they're doing it more often. Over the holiday week, brands sent over 4 billion emails that were sent to their subscribers. It means that the competition is really at an all-time high and you just can't afford to land in spam and miss out on the entire thing. Now, what it means for you is that people are actively buying, they're seeking deals, but your brand won't be the only one sending emails. So that's why you need to take care of deliverability, because if you land in spam, this is how your Black Friday experience is gonna look like. We don't want it to look like that, so I'm gonna show you how to fix it. Instead of self-sabotaging and saying, I don't know, my deliverability was bad or how to fix it, you need to do it right now, which is define your deliverability, and if it's bad, fix it. Here's how to make sure that your emails land in the primary tab and never go to spam, which is gonna probably save you thousands of dollars just during Black Friday itself. First step is setting up custom segment domain in Klaviyo. Second one is getting your technicals right, which is SPF, DKYM, and DMARC DNS records. Then you need to add your domain to Google Postmaster Tools, just mainly so you can track deliverability and domain reputation and IP reputation as well. Then you're gonna need to define your deliverability. So you need to send your campaign to your own inboxes and see where it lands. Preferably, these should be inboxes that you have never engaged with before with your domain, because otherwise they're gonna land in the primary tab for sure. The other tool that we love is Glockups, and you can also check the deliverability tab in your Klaviyo and see open rates per inbox service provider, which stands for ISP. You can also go to Google Postmaster Tools, and after you start sending campaigns, you're gonna have a bunch of data over there. Make sure that for Google, you don't want your spam rate to be higher than 0.3%, because otherwise they're gonna classify you as spam, and that's not something you'd like to see. Another step to making sure deliverability is on point is cleaning your email list. There are two main segments you should create. First one is bounced, second one is marked as spam. You have definitions for both within this video. You can pause and create the same segments for your brand. Now export these segments, these profiles, remove them from Klaviyo, and never add them again, because they are just pretty much like a mess to your list. Okay, they are messing it up, you don't want it. Now it's time to also clean your list using other unengaged segment. Here's the definition for the unengaged segment, which is gonna be the trigger to our sunset unengaged flow, and there are filters to this flow. Once again, you can just pause the video and set up this thing exactly the same way I'm showing you right now. After you do this, you're gonna create suppression list, which is gonna be essentially people being tagged right here, people who didn't open an email after going through the sunset unengaged flow. After that, you want to export this list and also suppress it, but instead of deleting the export list, make sure that you actually save it in your Google Drive or wherever. During Black Friday, you can re-upload these profiles and then start and try to re-engage them. Okay, so now that you know what your deliverability is and you've cleaned your email list, now it's time to actually fix it. If you've done the above and your open rates across flows and campaigns above 40-50%, most likely you're in a good spot. Most likely it means the deliverability is on point, you are not going to spam, and you just need to keep doing what you're doing, which is maintain it. Now, if you're below that and your emails are going to spam, no worries, here's what to do and how to fix it to make sure that you never see spam again. Assuming you've done these steps above and have the technical side in place, you will need to warm up your domain. Well, how? It's quite simple. You need to start sending campaigns, ideally plain text ones because they have better inbox placement, to engaged email subscribers. By engaged email subscribers, I mean people who have opened their email, for example, in the last 3 days. Then if your open rates for this specific campaign are above 40 and 50%, expand your segment and send the next campaign to your opened 7 segment. Rise and repeat until you can hit open 60 or 90 segments with high open rates. Then you can run another deliverability test with Glockups plus monitor Postmaster Tools, and then slowly start adding store engagement so your segments look like this. Here's an example of a store engaged segment. As you can see, they're engaged either with our email or with our store. One thing to remember is that you need to exclude your unengaged segment, bounces, spam, and so on, like all of the essentially segments we've created before right here, because otherwise the warm-up won't work that well. I would also suggest you exclude last 15 buyers, so they are not blasting your customer support with emails like, hey, where's my order? Why are you emailing me this? Or if you run a sale, they'll be like, okay, I want a refund and buy it cheaper because you have sale right now. You want to avoid it, that's why we're excluding these people. Then here are 7 bonus tips for deliverability on how to maintain it and how to make sure that you land in the primary tab. In general, try to include as few links as possible, especially for like outside links. So for example, like any Instagram, YouTube links, maybe you're linking to some article from other page. These don't work that well in terms of deliverability, so try to have as few of these as possible. Then compress your images. It's very important. You don't want to be sending emails that have like 4 megabyte size. That's too big. It's gonna be loading very long in the customer's inbox and it's gonna mess up your deliverability. Then include all your content within one Klaviyo section block. This is a huge mistake I see e-commerce brands making, where they have like multiple sections within Klaviyo, and what they don't realize is that there's something like email size. And within Klaviyo, the more section blocks you have, the bigger the email size, which then impacts your deliverability, because if the email size is too big, the email can get clipped in Gmail, which essentially cuts off the email at some point and it isn't showing the content below that, and it can really mess up your deliverability. So make sure that your email size is in place and you have as few Klaviyo section blocks as possible. Then just simply figure out your best send time and day. You can also run A/B tests in Klaviyo for that. Add the plain text blocks with your mission statement at the very end of each email. That's gonna balance the ratio between design-based elements and plain text elements, ultimately boosting your deliverability. Don't be afraid to use plain text only emails. They're very working very well. They convert great and have awesome deliverability. Then the other one is just sending campaigns where you ask your subscribers to add your email list to their contacts, mark your email as important, move it to the primary tab and reply to your email. This is about it. Now for deliverability, these are the KPIs you would be aiming for. I'm not gonna read them one by one. You can pause the video, but in general, this is what we like to see. For open rates and click rates, as high as possible. Same goes for delivery rate. But bounce rate, spam rate and a subscribe rate as low as possible. The lower the better. Now execution, because we've covered how to get prepared. Deliverability is something that you need to have prepared in advance. You can't, fix it in one day. I mean, sometimes you can, but usually it's a longer process that takes month to sometimes 3 months. So now let's get to execution. Starting off with segmentation. As I said before about when I was talking about when you should start it, when to launch it, you want to start teasing your list. And to tease your list, you need to start sending teaser emails to your engaged segments. Then you can launch an early bird offer to your VIP customers and those who opted in for this specific offer. Now, what to do when your Black Friday officially starts? Usually, you shouldn't be blasting your entire email list with campaigns, but Black Friday and Cyber Monday is the time to do it. Like, if you want to blast your entire list anytime, Black Friday is the right time to do it. So make sure you do it. I still recommend creating segments for buyers and non-buyers because you can do an audience breakdown in Klaviyo to see which one is converting better. You should also have different campaigns for both of these, especially if running different offers, but usually they just have different objections, different problems to solve. So you need to have a little bit different campaigns, a little bit different copy and design as well. If you've been regularly cleaning your list, make sure to upload your separate profiles from an engaged list. Once you do it, make sure to upgrade your Klaviyo plan or turn on auto upgrade. And after Black Friday is done, once again export unengaged people, suppress these profiles and decrease your Klaviyo bill by lowering your plan. Now, custom sign-up forms. Q4 is where your store will have the most traffic. And there are 2 ways you can maximize your revenue per session with pop-ups. The first one is obviously building your email list pre-Black Friday and during Black Friday. The other one is promoting your offer to existing Klaviyo profiles. Each one has their own use and target audience, so I'm gonna cover them one by one. Pre-Black Friday pop-ups, essentially you'll have a lot of traffic before Black Friday, after Halloween. Your ads will probably be doing very well, so the best way to use it is to launch your early bird pop-up. Once again, before I mentioned actually running early bird offer, launching it to your VIP customers and those who opted in. This is how they opt in. You want to obviously A/B test it against your current offer, because if your current offer will be doing better than the Black Friday list, you still want to run your current offer and then just email these people when you launch your Black Friday. Here's an example of the pop-up, very simple, don't overcomplicate it. List building pop-ups. First of all, pause your current pop-up, then create one that displays your Black Friday offer. It has to match because chances are your Black Friday offer is gonna be way better than the regular pop-up offer. That's why they need to match to make sure that you're actually getting those people to opt in. You can also add some urgency, let people know that it won't get better, it's limited time only, and it's Black Friday, so if they want to buy, now is the time to do it. Now, if you want to start collecting the phone number, make sure you don't include it all in one step, otherwise your submission rate is going to be lower. You can ask for email, then optionally for phone numbers, and then display the code. If you display the code on the pop-up thank you page, it's also going to help you with the conversion rate in general, like store-wide conversion rate, so make sure you do it. This is very important that this pop-up is not displayed to people who are on your email list. You already have their information, so there's no reason to keep asking them for it. The chances are they won't submit it, so just don't do it. Here are offer promoting pop-ups, and this pop-up won't be collecting any kind of data. That's because you will be displaying it to your existing Klaviyo profiles. So as I said before, this profile is for non-Klaviyo profiles, so people who aren't on your email list. This pop-up is to people who are on your email list. The purpose of the pop-up is just to display your Black Friday offer and direct all the traffic to one either collection page or product page, anything that is your main thing for Black Friday where you're sending all your traffic. Make sure you display it on your blog pages, even if you don't normally show your pop-up there, just because people are still shopping like crazy. Even if they're on a blog article that they came across from SEO, let's say, chances are they're still gonna convert, okay? That's why you want to show these pop-ups. Now, flows. Before we get into what to do part, let's explain why you will need to set up new flows. So your regular flows will most likely have outdated offer. As I said before, you should turn off your current pop-up, which is for example 10% off, and you should display your Black Friday offer, which for example will be 30% off. And as you can tell, 30% is way better than 10%. So of course, if you're having pop-up for 30% off, you want to have a welcome flow that matches that, as well as a bundled cart, checkout, and post-purchase flows. This is really the key to converting way more people than you would like to. If you have all of these custom, it's gonna do so much better than your regular flows, and they don't need to be super extensive. Even I would suggest not having them longer than 3 emails, maybe even 4. But in general, you wanna be very quick, so the welcome flow should be sending 3 or 4 emails even within the first 2 days, because you want to be very aggressive. Same goes for abandoned carts and checkouts. By having this, it will really help you just boost your email sales and flow sales. If you wanna do it as a low hanging fruit, you don't need to create them from scratch. Just work with what you already have, especially if these flows are tested and optimized and they work well. Edit them, add your Black Friday offer, or replace the old one with new one, and that's it. If you don't have any flows yet, you better hurry up, because setting them and optimizing isn't easy and it just takes time. As I said before, I like to be a bit more aggressive, so I like making time delays between each email a little bit shorter. People will be getting a lot of emails from your competitors and other brands, so you want to stay on the top of your customers' minds. If your one car flow normally has a time delay of 1 day between each email, make it 12 or even 8 hours. And this is just fuel enjoying the money after those Black Friday flows hit. About the campaigns, this is the most important thing is going to be your offer. Make sure it's clear and visible. Normally I wouldn't suggest you blasting the offer as the biggest thing in general within your email campaign, but during Black Friday it makes a lot of sense to do it, and this is when I suggest you do it, because it's just gonna help you tremendously get way more sales. That's mainly because, once again, the competition in customers' inboxes will be higher than ever. So you need to send them a lot of emails and stand out. I'm gonna show you how to do both. Here's a brief campaign's cadence that you can follow. You can send even 2 or 3 emails per day. That's fine with that, as long as your deliverability is good. So if you're having open rates of 5 to 10%, it doesn't really make that much sense to keep sending more emails, but the open rates are 30%, even 25, because we're more aggressive, I would still be sending 2 to 3 emails per day, maybe even 4. Now here is a very, very solid example of a schedule that we have run for some of our clients last year. So actual Black Friday, 3 emails, 2 texts. For emails it was morning send, afternoon, evening. 4 texts, morning, evening. Saturday, after Black Friday, 1 day after, morning, evening send for email, then text and evening send. Sunday after Black Friday, morning and evening send, 4 texts, afternoon send. And for Cyber Monday, very similarly to actually the same as Black Friday, morning, afternoon, evening send for emails, morning and evening send for text. Now you know how to send a lot, now how to make sure you stand out. Make sure you prepare 2 formats of campaigns, design-based and plain text only. You need both, because especially during Black Friday, all brands are gonna be sending fancy emails, which are gonna look beautiful, but they won't be standing out, right? If you have a Black Friday happening, you expect to see beautiful emails with headers like 50% off, Black Friday sale, Cyber Monday sale, our biggest sale ever, stuff like that. So if you send a plain text email, your subscribers will be hooked because not many brands, I don't want to say nobody, but not many brands send plain text emails during Black Friday. It's a very, very easy way to stand out because the first impression is that, okay, this is not a sales email. In reality, of course, it will be sales email. It will be very, very salesy. Like you can sell there super hard. But the point is that your impression, your hook will be great. You'll be better than competitors. And aside from that, you obviously need to make sure that your design-based emails are a little bit different than your regular campaigns. I usually recommend being a bit more bold and having other branded colors. Sometimes even we like to go like completely off brand. So for example, if your brand colors are white, green and gold, and usually you're leading with white and green, for example, make a gold and green leading colors because that's just gonna, have a completely different visual appeal and it's gonna look better. It's gonna be more bold if you do it that way. And if your branding allows you to, I would once again go totally off brand and choose colors or even like branding specifically for Black Friday. Now let's talk a little bit more about retention and repurchase, which is the topic that not many people talk about. Many people skip it, and I don't want to say that they forget about it, but they don't realize how huge it can be for your e-commerce brand. If you're wondering like, is post Black Friday important? Well, it is. It's a very short answer, but to get to the point. You're going to acquire a lot of new customers during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. During this 1 or 2 weeks, they're gonna run sales. And the worst thing that you can do is forget about them. Like do nothing about the fact that they bought from you and joined your email list. Post Black Friday Monday period is when you can make huge profit. If you have already acquired these customers and they are on your email list that, with your product in hand, chances are they're gonna come back from you and keep buying if you make them to do it. Because if you won't, then the competitors will take them over, and instead of you having huge profit, it will be your competitor who is essentially collecting all the fruits of your labor, which you can't allow to do because, once again, it's not gonna be as easy as it used to, and you just have to do everything you can to survive. So now every single purchase to come in will be highly profitable because, as I said, you have already paid to acquire these people, and you didn't pay as much as usually, probably, or if you did, then still the profit was better because of higher AOV. So here's gonna be the repurchase strategy that you can use to achieve your goal, which should be getting first-time customers to buy from you within the 30 to 90 days after Black Friday. That will just help you maximize your profit, but also provide decent cash flow for things like inventory, ads, and your brand new Lamborghini. So what you need to do is simple, but not easy. It will come down to creating post-Black Friday Cyber Monday segments, post-Black Friday Cyber Monday flows, and post-Black Friday Cyber Monday campaigns. I know there's a lot of post-Black Friday Cyber Monday stuff, but hear me out because it's actually not that complicated, it's not that repetitive, but it can help you pretty much turn around your business in Q1. So about the segments themselves, you'll need critical ones that will help you. First one is convert subscribers that didn't convert during Black Friday, and I'm gonna clarify that in a little bit. Then turn one-time buyers into repeat customers, which I explained is your probably biggest opportunity, and then still re-engaging your regular list. Let's start off with subscribers that didn't convert. You can see the screenshot of the segment below. This one includes people who joined during your Black Friday Cyber Monday, but didn't buy from you. Because the worst thing you can do is forget about them and waste these leads. So once again, just for the subscribe to list metrics between dates, select when you started and ended your Black Friday, and this segment should work for you very, very well. I'm also gonna cover a little bit later on what content to send to those people, but in general, if they bought from you, if they signed up for your email list during the time when you had the best prices, the best offers, and they didn't buy, chances are price isn't the biggest objection for them, okay? I'm gonna cover them later on and show you some of the angles you can send, but just to clarify why you need this segment in the first place. Turn one-time buyers into repeat customers. This is hands down the lowest hanging fruit. It doesn't really matter if you sell replenishable products or not. This segment is an easy way to increase your profit and improve your cash flow. The main reason behind it is that these customers are already on your list and they have spent money on your brand, which is the hardest thing for you to do in the first place. Getting new clients through the door is always the hardest, so right now that they're already in your house, you just need to sell them more products. Now, re-engaging your list, you just can't forget about your other subscribers. Some of them engaged with your brand during Black Friday, some did it, and that's completely fine. But after Black Friday, this is still one of the greatest periods to revive your email list and convert those people who are on the fence. You're still most likely gonna have some Christmas deals, some New Year deals, and stuff like that. I would suggest playing with engagement period between 90, 180 and 365 days. If you are having really good open rates, go ahead with this one. Convert people who've engaged with you within the last year. It's gonna be a huge segment, but the sales and revenue from this one is also gonna be huge. About the flows a little bit. So the most sales are going to come in from your post-purchase flows that re-engage your Black Friday, Cyber Monday customers. This, once again, like the same reasoning as before. If they already bought from you, you need to get them to buy from you again. That's why post-purchase flows will be generating a lot of revenue, because the volume for these flows will be huge. Some of the flows will include cross-sell, replenishment, and win-back. With these free flows, you have essentially two options: either leave your current flows running, making sure they're optimized, or set up new flows. And as I said, both options are valid, but if your current flows are doing well and they're optimized, there's really no reason to reinvent the wheel. If they're average, recommend setting up new ones. The other reason why you would set up new ones is that if the current ones don't have the right offer. But if your current flows are optimized, they're doing well, and still don't have the, for example, Christmas offer or like Black Friday, post Black Friday offer, you can just clone them and replace the offer, and that's pretty much it. Post Black Friday, Cyber Monday flow structure. Once again, we want to be a little bit more aggressive with these and shorter your time delays, and try to add in some offers. Usually when there's like a cross-sell campaign or win-back or replenishment for our clients, we are not pushing discounts that much. What we like to do is, for example, upsell them or cross-sell them a bundle and then show savings from the bundle rather than giving an extra discount, which is just giving up your margins. You want to be a little bit more aggressive, but for Black Friday, you can add in some offers. There's nothing wrong with that because you will still be highly profitable. A brief outline would be 3 to 4 emails for cross-sell, 3 replenishment emails, and 3 win-back emails. Make sure you have at least 1 plain text email in each. Set them up, backpopulate, and enjoy seeing your first-time customers buy from you again. Now, post Black Friday, Cyber Monday campaigns. We already covered segments that you want to use. These are gonna be non-buyers who signed up during Black Friday, people who bought during Black Friday, and your regular engaged list. What's going to be important is your sending frequency and content. Each segment requires different treatment, so let's break it down one by one. I briefly covered this one a little bit more, which is that people that signed up during Black Friday didn't buy may not care about the price that much. Like, it might not be the biggest factor why they should buy or not buy from you. Most likely they just have some other concerns or objections. So you need to just cover them. Your campaign should be covering them one by one. And here are some angles that I'm pretty much sure are gonna do well, which is authority, showing, for example, any big names you worked with, influencers, brands, stuff like that. Social proof, just show your reviews to make sure that you're legit. These people need to believe that. Mythbusters, any common myths about your industry or product, make sure you also solve it. Us versus them, great angle, show why you are better than your competitors, because even if someone didn't buy from you, but is on your list and they bought from the competitor, there is still a chance that they might buy from you. Like, if your competitor won't retarget them with campaigns or flows, then you're in a pretty good spot, because if you convince them like, hey, I'm better than the brand you bought from, they're gonna go with you and buy from you. And if you have a great product and optimized flows for post-purchase people, it's gonna be like a goldmine. Product and brand awareness. During Black Friday, there's really not much time to show the story behind the brand and make people aware of everything. It's mostly about pushing deals. That's why post Black Friday you can do a little bit more of that. Now, about reactivating buyers, you just need to keep hitting those people with your emails. You got to buy them for the first time, which is the hardest. Now it's time to get them to buy again, which will be easier. All you have to do is keep educating them about the brand, because once again, there wasn't probably much time for that during Black Friday. Start cross-selling them products, showing what's available, what's a good option for them, any complementary products, and ensure that they're making a good decision that they moved forward with you. Some ideas that you can try is why you need more than one X. So if you're saying, for example, air purifiers, explain that people might need one for each room. Gifting time, which will be once again Christmas. Give your friends, loved ones product Y. Running out of product Z, time to replenish. Cross-sell other products. What makes us better than other brands, which is kind of similar to the us versus them, but not in a salesy way, but like awareness way, like we take a pride in this and that. Push your bundles, still for higher AOV, because people are still in this spending mode. And if you have any arrivals during that period, also let them know about it, because new stuff always sells well. And your regular segment, engage segment, which you can't forget about. I'm gonna also cover, a bunch of ideas, but the truth is that you normally send like between 70 to 80% of your total campaigns to the segment, and that's completely fine. But you need to make sure that you have a variety of the content, because otherwise people will be bored and they'll unsubscribe. So you just need to have different angles, different formats to make sure that they're actually engaged and they like getting emails from you. Here are some of the angles. So any updates about the brand or product, pushing your social media so you have like more channels to target them, push your bundles and your rivals, talk about your brand, mythbusters, infotainment, educational emails, value plain text emails. As you can see, some of these overlap with other segments, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can include multiple segments and that's gonna be fine. Now here's the promised bonus, because right now you have everything you need to know to absolutely make a killing this Q4 and Black Friday. I just laid out everything you need to do to prepare, execute, optimize, and retain those customers. Now your option is either you're gonna do it yourself, or you're gonna hire a completely new team, like have a copywriter, strategist, designer, and a Klaviyo tech managing your Klaviyo and coming up with all of these ideas. Or you can just reach out to us. You can click the link in the description down below or right here, and you will be able to book a free call with us, where essentially we're gonna do an audit for you and we're gonna prepare a custom action plan tailored to your brand. So we're gonna hop on a quick 15-minute call, just like it says here. We're gonna get the required access information that we need to execute this audit. And within the 48 hours, you're gonna have a custom action plan on what to fix, what to do, and essentially the entire strategy and plan on how to maximize your revenue during Q4. The one problem with that is that we just have so many spots, like it's quite limited, because we just have so much time during the day and we can't take these calls 24/7. First of all, because it would be pretty hard to not sleep for a week, let's say, just to take these calls. And then these action plans are actually very actionable and in-depth, so they take a lot of time to create. That's why the availability for this one is quite limited. So if you really want to have like a free action plan for this Black Friday, make sure you book a call with us, because once again, it's gonna be very, very insightful, very helpful, and it costs you nothing. I'm just gonna essentially go through your Klaviyo, audit everything from deliverability to flows to sign up form to offers to campaigns, and come back to you with a custom plan, so that you can lose absolutely nothing. That's about it for this video. I hope you'll have a great Q4 and you will make absolute killing during Black Friday this year. If you want to watch some other videos, you can check out the proposed ones. I have other tutorials on flows or campaigns or a bunch of case studies. But for the video, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers!